All right, let's talk about a truly stunning upset. A night where one of La Liga's giants stumbled, and I mean stumbled at the absolute worst possible moment. You know, this match had all the makings of a routine win. But what actually happened? Well, it was a total betrayal of expectations at the legendary Bernabeu.
So to really get what was at stake here, you have to look at the La Liga table before this match even kicked off. You've got Barcelona sitting pretty at the top with 65 points. But right there, breathing down their necks, is Real Madrid with 61. The stage is set at their home fortress, the Bernabeu. I mean, this was a golden opportunity to really turn up the heat on their biggest rivals.
And that's really the key, right there. The math was so simple, but the prize was just immense. A victory would have put them just one single, tantalizing point behind Barca. You can imagine the pressure. But, for a team like Real Madrid, at home, victory wasn't just something they hoped for. It was what everyone expected.
It all seemed so straightforward, didn't it? A powerhouse team playing in their own backyard with the league title right there, practically within their grasp. What could possibly go wrong? Well, as we all know, in a high-stakes title race, the simplest plans can often lead to the most spectacular collapses.
And then it happened. The moment that just completely flipped the script on this match and maybe even the entire season. This wasn't just any old goal. This was a strike that changed everything. The press, well, they put it perfectly. They called it a goal from another match. And that's exactly what it felt like. Because this strike, it just didn't belong in this tense, gritty game. It was a moment of pure, unbelievable brilliance that seemed to come from absolutely nowhere.
And here's the man responsible, Getafe's Martín Satriano. He just unleashed an absolutely perfect volley. I mean, think about the technique, the sheer power, and to beat one of the best keepers on the planet, Thibaut Courtois, so cleanly, wow. Just a truly, truly unforgettable goal.
So after that moment of magic, the real question was, okay, how can Getafe possibly hold on? Scoring is one thing, but defending a lead at the Bernabeu, that's a whole other beast. And their answer? It was a masterclass in defensive organization.
And this is how they did it.
Getafe's game plan was brilliantly simple. First, they formed this low block, just packing the middle of the field, forcing a team like Madrid that loves speed and width to become slow and predictable. Then, they just frustrated the attack. With the middle totally clogged, Madrid was forced wide, only to run into this disciplined blue wall. And then the final piece, the sting in the tail. The second they won the ball back, boom, they launched these incredibly fast counters, turning Madrid's own pressure right back against them. And you could just feel Madrid's composure cracking out on the pitch. They had all the possession in the world, but it led to nothing. Their one real spark, Vinícius Júnior, found himself constantly smothered by 2, sometimes 3 blue shirts. And on those rare times they did manage to break through, they ran into an inspired goalkeeper, David Soria, who was having the game of his life. It was like a pressure cooker, and it finally boiled over into a moment of complete madness, a red card, a total loss of discipline born from pure, raw frustration. You know, every great drama needs its key players, and this match, it had a clear hero, and, well, for the Madrid fans, a figure who had to shoulder all the blame. It was one man's brilliance versus another man's burden. And this really captures the whole story perfectly. On one side, you have the hero, Martín Satriano, celebrating that incredible moment of magic. And on the other side, the man feeling all the pressure, Madrid's coach, Álvaro Arbeloa, who just seemed to have no answers on the day.
So let's just break down their impact, right? Satriano's one moment of brilliance delivers a historic victory for Getafe. Plain and simple. On the other side of things, Coach Arbeloa faced a storm of criticism. His game plan seemed to play right into Getafe's hands with all this slow build-up play that let their defense get set perfectly. And when it was obvious plan A wasn't working, his substitutions just failed to change the momentum at all. It was a tactical battle that was just, well, completely lost.
Okay, so now let's zoom out and look at the bigger picture, because this one result sent absolute shockwaves through the La Liga title race. We're talking about the devastating consequences of one really, really bad day at the office for Real Madrid.
18. Just let that number sink in for a second. 18 years. That is how long it had been since Getafe had last beaten Real Madrid at the Bernabeu. I mean, we're talking about an entire generation. This wasn't just a loss. This was a historic, almost seismic upset.
And to make things even worse, this wasn't just some random fluke result that came out of the blue. Oh no, it was part of a really worrying pattern.
This was Real Madrid's second consecutive loss in the league. The alarm bells were officially ringing loud and clear.
And here it is, the brutal aftermath. That dream of closing the gap to just 1 point, gone. The reality, that gap was still a daunting 4 points. All that pressure they wanted to pile on Barcelona, it just vanished into the Madrid night.
Which of course brings us to the final, lingering question. This loss leaves Real Madrid with a mountain to climb, and it raises some serious doubts about their championship credentials. So after a defeat this damaging, this historic, and this frustrating, can they really recover their title hopes?